I opened my Bible and I started to sob and to sob and to sob. And that was the beginning of something that I just felt like, God, I don't know what this is going to take me, but I know you're real. I know you're real. And I just felt this deep impression that you're calling me into something. I don't know what that is, but I pretty much said, here I am. You got my attention. And that was the beginning, man. I remember crying to my dad, calling him and said, Dad, and crying like, Dad, and I'm tearing up, but tears in my, I'm sobbing. He's like, is everything okay? Are you okay? And I literally said, Dad, like, I just heard the voice of God. And I said, how could this God that I didn't want nothing to do with want me? And he just said, man, that's the love of the Father.
All right, welcome to another episode, a brand new episode of Grape Juice and God here at the We Believe camp. I'm super excited to have one of my boys, pastor, friend, Jonathan Osorio. How you doing, my boy?
I'm good, man.
Oh,
Thanks for having me, man. Hey, I was going to say, you said grape juice. I was like, what?
At the camp, we can't have the grape juice on the floor. We don't want to mess with the floor. Huh? Yeah, I don't want to be mopping the floor, but super excited to have you, my brother. Same, brother. Did the kids wear you out today?
Man, it was a long day, man. It was a long day, but it was a fun one, man. Fun one, for sure. Good.
Man. So Jonathan's one of the coaches at the We Believe basketball camp. We're going to kind of tell you a little bit about his testimony, a little bit about him. Jonathan, please, pastor, you're the pastor at Spring Meadows Church. Actually, tell us what you do first.
Yeah. So currently, man, crazy. God brought us out here to Orlando, Florida. Currently, we've been here for 3 years now.
Oh, man.
This past June, it's been 3 years officially. Wow. Man, we would have never imagined from California all the way to here, but we're currently youth and young adult pastor. I like to call it next generation pastor at Spring Meadows, working with both the youth, middle school and high school, and also our young adult community, which you can imagine young adults, young professionals, working there as well. So yeah, man.
Good, man. You're doing great things. I want to be able to let the people know, how did we meet, Jonathan? How did we meet?
Yeah, man. Crazy. Remind me again. I think it was, Was
it the pastor's retreat or was it at our first orientation together?
That's a good point, man. It's interesting because I know we were talking about this the other day and I was like, I was going back and forth. Was it the pastors? Was it the pastoral retreat that we have here? One of those two. I couldn't pinpoint exactly, but I just feel like the moment we met, it was just like it was like one of those things. You're like you've known about each other for years. You just felt like it just came out natural, man. And so and then of course I heard more about your story and what you've been doing in this community, man. Super appreciative all you've done to lay the foundation for many of these students out there in FLA and as well now. But the difference you're making in this community has been powerful. And
praise the Lord,
I love seeing that, man. Definitely.
Praise the Lord, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So even though we're trying to figure out how we met, we did meet. God brought us together as brothers. One of the first times I heard Jonathan speak, I was very impressed. Huge ministry, youth and young adult pastor at Spring Meadows, man. How are you liking the Florida area right now?
Brother, I'll be honest. So right now, we currently, you know how it is. It's crazy hot. But they told me if you can do June, July, and August out here, man, the rest of it, man, we've been loving Florida. To be honest with you, the community, the people, it's been a huge blessing for me. And I talk about my family as well, my wife and my 3 little boys. It's been a blessing, bro. And so we've settled roots here.
Oh, good.
Made it home, and this is where we're at, and we're super grateful to have answered the call of God in the Florida Conference and meeting some great friends in this community. So, yeah, man.
One of the things I noticed and one of the things I love, even when you're doing this ministry here with us for the We Believe basketball camp, you brought your whole family. Tell us why that's important. I mean, your wife came in. Wife is helping out in the kitchen. The boys are involved in the camp. So is that a part of your ministry, having your family with you, working with you?
It's a huge opportunity, man. It's funny because my kids now, whenever we go, and I know this is like a 2-hour drive from Orlando all the way out here to to Avon Park, Sebring, they're always seeing it as a holiday, a vacation. For them, it's like anytime they go out and whether I'm ministering or connecting with people outside of our local home, they see it as a vacation. And one of the things before we had kids, me and my wife, we were highly involved in the young people's life. We would have times where we would invite the youth to come over and just hang out in the house, do lunches together. We had this thing called the Love Team that we just loved on young people, and that's what we wanted to be known for. That my home, doors are open, doors are wide open for you to come hang out. And so now, of course, the season has changed a little bit with 3 little ones. But man, you see the heart that she has. Sometimes she loves ministry. Sometimes, I'll be honest, more than I love it.
More than you, yeah.
When I leave a place, people are like, man, we're going to miss
your wife.
Pastor Oso, but we're going to miss Vanessa for sure. So I get that all the time. But it's been a blessing, bro. I love it. I mean, I'm glad, I'm blessed to have her in as well. And we love God and we love working with this next generation, you know.
I like that. I like that phrase. So speaking of the next generation, tell me, man, you're in the ministry, you're a pastor. What made you go into ministry? Like how did you go into ministry?
Yeah, man. So let me tell you a little backtracking. My dad later on in life decided to go into pastoral ministry. So I didn't grow up as a PK, what they call it, a pastor's kid. But later on, he went to school in Mexico. We sold everything. Pretty much in California, we sold everything. And he just said, man, I feel called. He was an electrician before then. He felt called. We sold everything. People thought we were crazy. We sold everything, our home, our appliances, everything. And we pretty much moved to Mexico. 3 years we were there. And my dad's studying to be a pastor. When we came back, he entered this role of pastoral ministry. I didn't much about it. And people started calling me, oh, you're a pastor's kid, a PK. I didn't know what that was. And now going a little older now, coming into the academy, high school age, people would always say to me, you're going to be like your dad one day, a pastor one day. And that was the last thing I kind of wanted to hear, because instead of people asking me, what do you want to be? They were already assuming that I was going to be.
Go right into the ministry, follow your father's footsteps.
Right? So,
I get it.
So that kind of, I'll be honest with you, that deterred me from going into ministry and pastoral ministry. And literally, I went as furthest as I could and started going into the business world. So my undergrad was in business. I did that. And crazy enough, just to kind of put it all together, one night, be honest with you, man, I got kicked out my freshman year at La Sierra University.
Wow.
So I didn't know where my life hit like the lowest point ever, being the oldest kid, being in a Hispanic home, trying to set the example. I was not setting the example to my brothers, sisters. They send me up to PUC, this little mountain up in Northern California, from LA area up to Northern, which is a small little town up in the mountains.
Oh, wow.
And I'll be honest with you, Ronnie, that's where, like, literally one night I'm walking up after holding my basketball. I'm walking up to the dorm room and I hear the voice, man. I didn't want to know nothing about God. I even started doubting the existence of God. I said, I don't think even God is real. Like this whole thing my parents taught me. And I'll be honest, one night I'm walking up the hill, man, quiet night. I didn't even have my headphones for music, and I heard my voice. I heard my name say, audible, Jonathan.
Wow.
I looked around that night. It was late at night.
Like a call, like as clear as day, you could hear it.
Man, it was like, wow. Man, I heard it, and I looked around first because I was like, man, somebody's calling me. For sure somebody called me. I kept walking up to the dorm room because it was from the gym, which is a little lower, to the dorm room, which is a little higher. I kept walking up. I heard my name again the second time, Jonathan. I looked around. I thought somebody was playing hide and seek with me. I was like, yo, for sure somebody's here. Like, no, for a fact somebody's here. As I walked closer to my dorm room, I remember my name being called again, Jonathan. I remember at that moment, it was pitch dark, but I saw the stars, and I look up to the sky and I saw the moon, and I heard the voice say, Jonathan, I need you. Wow. At that moment, I'll be honest with you, Ronnie, I went straight to my dorm room. I opened my Bible and I started to sob and to sob and to sob. And that was the beginning of something that I just felt like, God, I don't know where this is going to take me, but I know you're real. I know you're real. And I just felt this deep impression that you're calling me into something. I don't know what that is, but I pretty much said, here I am. You got my attention. And that was the beginning, man. I remember crying to my dad, calling him and said, Dad, and crying like, Dad, and I'm tearing up with tears in my eyes. I'm sobbing. He's like, is everything okay? Are you okay? And I literally said, Dad, like, I just heard the voice of God. Wow. And I said, how could this God that I didn't want nothing to do with want me? And he just said, man, that's the love of the Father, man. Wow. And from then that set me on a quest to just want to know more about God.
And so that moment, you decided that you wanted to go into pastoral ministries, just like your dad?
At that moment, I was still resisting. And you know how God works through some of those moments in life. We're like, not yet, God, I'm not ready. You know, or I don't think so that step was I want to get to know you more, Father. I want to learn about your word. I want to dive deeper in what this means to know the character of God and to know more about God. And little by little, God kind of took me in that direction. And then next thing you know, my why became, hey, I want to be an inspiration to the next generation, to let people know how good and how great God is. And so that's kind of what I do, man. That's why, it's been a blessing. But yeah, a little bit of, that's kind of how God took me in that path. And so people say, oh, you're a pastor. I'm like, I am. And it's taking me some time to finally, just because, there's still some recollection of my early days when I was younger. But
let me ask you a question. Do you ever go back? Do you ever go back and look at yourself and say, man, or feel weird when people call you a pastor? That's for me. Like, I'm walking somewhere and someone's like, pastor. I'm like, who are they talking about?
I'll be
not me.
I'll be honest, right? I hear you. It's funny is, yes, that happens. And sometimes I get that on the court, on the basketball court, right?
Yeah.
when you're being competitive.
Man.
And let's
when
say
people are watching
and
you.
people watching you like, oh, aren't you a pastor? And they're like, oh, my bad. Right? I got my bad. But, I'll be honest with you, man. It's definitely one of those things that I would have never, ever imagined that this was where God would have me. But I take it, I definitely, I'm super grateful for the calling God has placed in my life, and just trying to, my why in life is to be an inspiration to the next generation. That's why,
Love it. At the same time that God was calling you, did you meet your wife before then or after the call? Like, because I want to know if she saw the change in you from, transitioning from normal John to pastoral John.
That's a good question, man. I'm trying to remember the timeline of that, just because I remember she knew me, and I think I met her first, and then God came to call me into ministry, because she knew me. We dated, and one of those things about dating is then she knew I was studying to be business. Now, next thing you know, I'm telling her, hey, I feel this call from God. I might be going into this thing, because I didn't want to do school, bro. Once I done with business, I'm like, I'm good. I got my bachelor's. Dad, I got my bachelor's. We good. But then now I'm like, I think I might continue furthering my studies, and I didn't want to say the word pastor yet.
Sure. No.
But I was like, I might be going into doing my master's in divinity and go that route. And little by little, I told her when I was exploring that, she was like, oh, so that, are you going into be a pastor? And I said, I don't know yet, but it seems like, that might be the route. And so she had some time I said, don't get me wrong. If you're not ready for that, I totally understand. Sure. And I think she prayerfully thought about it, and she would be like, it took her off guard, and it took many of my friends off guard. It took me off guard. I never saw myself, knowing who my past and knowing some of the things that I had gone through and some of the things I experienced or things that I did. I was like, bro, God, I'm like the worst one. I'm like the worst one. You don't want me. And then that's why, God reminded me through his word. God takes the weak things of this world, the weak things. And so
it makes them strong.
That's it. Through his power and at work in our life. Right. So praise the Lord, man.
So tell me, a huge part of your ministry, Jonathan, is sports mixed with the ministry. Why is that so important for you? Yeah. And then kind of give us an example of how you use that typically. For sure. With your faith in sports or ministry with sports also.
No, I hear the great question. I mean, I think when I look back in my life, I think the one thing that I've come to know is like, sports have been a huge part of my life, from soccer early on to basketball, and just having a huge passion for it, bro. Like literally, man, I would wake up 5, 6 in the morning to hoop. I mean, you tell me I'm there when it comes to playing, but then translating that to ministry is then we started a small, in one of the seasons in our life, we started like the small nonprofit back in Houston, and we noticed that we were doing mission trips. We had the opportunity. We would cater to the VBS, which are kids. Then we would do construction for the adults. But then there was a gap there that was missing, the younger generation, the middle school, high school, young adults. And we noticed that one night when we opened up the gym in that community, we noticed the whole community flocked, like all the middle school, high school, and young adults came out to play sports. And we had a volleyball tournament. It was like USA versus Panama. We had a soccer tournament, USA. And then we started to just
USA
to play
won,
together.
Of course, right?
Man, you know what? I'm not going to say, but there was some chat. I mean, we lost some of those games too. But it was just cool to just connect with the people of that demographic, the younger generation. And then after that pretty much we did that. We started doing sports camps with that and mission trips. And then when we came back, we did a sports camp in the community. And it was just beautiful to merge both of them, like play with with a purpose. God has created you for and by a purpose. And so it was beautiful just to see the culmination and continue to do that too. Faith and sports. Yeah.
Love that, John. Big. So for the last 2 years, we've gotten you to come down here
appreciate it,
and
man.
kind of just step right in. You fit like a glove, like we said.
Man, I appreciate the
you know,
love, man.
we love you a lot. But
same.
tell us why. Why did you get involved with the We Believe basketball camp here with us?
Yeah.
And what have you been getting from it? What have you been enjoying from it, John?
For sure. Man, it's been an honor to be a part of this camp. I'll be honest with you. The We Believe, I think there's something special about this camp. And this is my second camp. But last year when you hit me up and you're like, so would you be down to come out here and be a part of this? You come in just not knowing what to expect.
Right.
But I think some of the things that have stood out to me is just the intentionality of not just, hey, we're here to play basketball, but teaching, learning, and also implementing faith into this camp. I mean, it's been powerful, beautiful to see how these kids are picking up on it. They leave here wanting more. They leave here inspired and wanting to grow in their basketball skills. And I think that's the beautiful thing and this year, especially you incorporating that aspect of mental health.
Oh,
man, that has been transformative, man. I've never seen it. And I'll be honest with you, me and my wife talked about it. You've rekindled this desire for us to be like, man, we gotta definitely think about, we could bring a basketball camp, man. We can definitely bring a basketball camp. And that's something that you've translated that to us again, of thinking about that and inspiring us to want to do something like this in the community. And the beautiful thing is the stories that you get from connecting with people here. Like I know you were sharing earlier some stories with Judah and different other powerful, beautiful things that just happen as you throw and cast the net far. Man, you'll see what God brings in, man. So it's beautiful. And so sports gives us that platform and opportunity to meet people we would never meet in any other space.
And we actually interviewed Judah, so
I bet
you all be able to see the interview with Judah, how we met.
Man,
so it's a beautiful thing, man. We've loved having you. One of the things I got to tell you is that the We Believe basketball camp, it started with my friend Hamilton Peralta.
Okay.
You've met all of my close friends here that we all play college basketball with. And the funny thing is that Jonathan fits right in. Hamilton Peralta was one of the founders with myself of this camp and tragically passed away last year, July 4th. And so you kind of came right in, taking over his spot, and just the energy, that same energy you have filled in. So I just want to thank you for coming and doing that. On this show, what we actually do is we give people flowers. And so one of the things I want to tell you, man, is that I've seen you for a couple of years, and I just appreciate your energy, but I appreciate what God is doing through your ministry. And I want to give you your flowers, man, to say keep pushing. I love the idea of you doing a basketball camp, as long as the We Believe people get to come down and you bring us down to be involved.
Man, you for family.
But you just have been inspiring so many. When you're not here, the kids call and ask me, hey, how's Pastor Jonathan doing? So thank you for being a part of the We Believe basketball camp. My last final question to you, John, is you do your own personal ministries. Can you tell us about your ministry, your book that you've written, and also where people can find you?
Gotcha. No, I appreciate that. Again, thank you so much, Rodney, for the invitation. I feel like I've gained, I don't have big brothers, but I've gained 3 big brothers.
And one skinny one.
And so for real, I just wanted you to know, man, you guys have meant so much to me, especially traveling from Cali out here. I didn't know anybody, but you guys have been a huge part of my life now, man. And my family now is as well, feels the same way. My kids as well, with your kid Carter as well, man. So it's my kids just, the other day they were like, man, do we have to leave Dad? And it was like, we got to. So we don't want to leave. So it's like, man, this has become family. So thank you for that. A little bit about us, man. Yeah, man. You can find us on our social media pages. Oso Inspires. Like I shared, man, my why in life is to be an inspiration to the next generation, for them to know how good and how great God is. I wrote a book, and I would have never imagined, I'll be honest with you, I'm like, I would have never thought to even ever write a book, but God put a deep message in my heart that I wanted to share with the world. And so just like Jesus, Jesus took 12 young lives and he changed the world. And so what I talk about there is the 3 Ps that can propel you to be all God has called you to be. And it's crazy because it's very intentional there. And the book is called Inspire One. And on the bottom says how to become an inspiration to the next generation, looking at the 3 Ps that Jesus used there. And one of them, I know we were talking earlier, potential, title. The second one is perspective. And the third one is position. Each one of those, Jesus was so intentional in helping shape and develop those young disciples that they changed. Think about this, 12 young people changed the world. And we're here talking about it still.
Still today.
Years till today. So that's what it is. And so grateful for the opportunity. And man, anytime I could go out, any space that I can get to share and inspire the young people, man, I'm there, man.
Tell us again where people can get your book.
Yeah. So Amazon, you can go on there, Inspire One, how to be an inspiration to the next generation, Inspire One. You can check it out there. And my social media is Oso, O-S-O, like bear, Oso Inspires. And you can find us there, man.
Pastor Jonathan, it's been a privilege, my brother. We got one more day of this camp. Are you excited to finish it up?
Let's do it.
Hey, man, I love you, my brother.
Same here, my brother.
Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Love, man.
To view all of our content, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at McFadden Ministries.